from a player's perspective? Do you have to challenge that just to see what happens?
Oh, look, I guess as a club, you know, we feel like Richard, you know, it was within the rules of what the game is. So obviously, I wasn't privy to the conversations this morning about whether we challenge or not. But you know, the club obviously feels that we can make a strong case, and can't say too much more. Obviously, with it pending.
If he goes for, I mean, not high as such a bump, what does it mean for players? What do you think when you're sort of running at a contest? Do you have to think twice now?
Oh, not really. You just have to be aware of what's within the rules and what isn't. So, as players, you know, we're made aware of what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. So we're really clear about what's required, and it's really the onus is on us and responsibility is on us to execute things within the rules. So it's pretty simple.
First was Robbie Gray, and now obviously Dougie. Are we in danger of seeing the bump being rubbed out of the game altogether?
No, as I said, you know, if you execute it within the rules, which there is an allowance to do that. So I don't think it's been asked, you know, for years and years whether that's the case, but it boils down to the fact that we understand the rules. If we do it within the rules, we can do it.
What about Texan Tom Leach? Do you think they're a chance to come in for this Thursday night?
Yeah, obviously we've got a bit of training to do before then. We have our main session tomorrow, so those boys, you know, they've got a bit of work to do to get right. But you know, having said that, they were reasonably close last week, so you know, we're hoping that with a week on the track that they'll be able to get through and put their hand up for Thursday night.
What do they need to do, Dave?
Oh, obviously, you know, training, having a solid training base is really important coming into the games. We picked 22 guys on the weekend who had really had a good grounding, and those boys have had a good grounding too, but they just need a little bit more work. And you know, as I said, they were really close, so they're not far away from being available.
How much did the game take it out of your lungs? And you obviously had a pretty good pre-season with no injury, so it obviously would have taken its toll on you getting used to the pace of the game. How do you reckon if those guys play? Tex said obviously last week that he felt he couldn't help the team. You reckon it'll take him a while?
No, I don't think so. Both those guys have incredible work ethic. So what they do off the track is pretty special in terms of the training they're able to get in. So you know, they're super professional. They're experienced players. They know what's required from a physical point of view. So complete trust that you know, if they put their hand up, they'll be right to go. And
just can you talk us through a bit more about Lynch's injury? What the problem actually is? I know it's a side, but how long do you expect him to miss?
Well, as I said, look, you know, he's pushing to play this week, so I can't really say much more about that. He's training and trying to put his hand up, so there's not too much more I can really add at the moment.
Does the loss show how important he is to the side?
Oh, look, obviously he's an important part of the way we play, but you know, we never rely on one person, so you know, we want to get him back as soon as we can, but if it's not this week, then he'll continue to build, and we'll try and get him in there as soon as we can.
Did he not train this morning, or is it a main session tomorrow? You know, given it's only a short 6-day turnaround, like how's a week sort of structure up?
Yeah, so we have a main training tomorrow. So obviously the 6-day break does change our program a little bit, but that's all designed to have us you know, primed for Thursday night. So you know, we've obviously had a couple of days where we recover, and then to be able to train tomorrow is really important, and train at a good intensity leading into Thursday night.
It's only a small sample size, I realise, but in the 2 pre-season games and then on the weekend, overrun in the second half, is that a concern and fitness, or you think it's all fine, it's just a mindset?
No, that's not a concern. You know, we understand we've done the work, we've done plenty of work, and you know, ultimately we just lost our way around the contest, and when that happens, you know, we lose field position, and when we lose field position, the game becomes really difficult. So it is a pretty simple recipe for us, and unfortunately in the last quarter we didn't have all the ingredients there.
You don't, like, just to touch on that again, you don't think 3 weeks less training, given you went deep in September, that doesn't have a factor?
No, I don't think so. You know, we managed to get in a lot of work over the summer, and that, you know, for us is not going to play a part at all.
Any extra motivation for Thursday night, given it's a grand final rematch?
Look, it's worth 4 points, which is for us is really important, obviously, and obviously the recent history is going to be there. But you know, for us, it's a really important game. It's 4 points, and we need to get our first win. So that's where our focus is at.
Do you know where Kirtley's at?
Kirtley's still being assessed, so we'll know more over the coming days. But I'm not too sure whether he'll be available for this week. But you know, he's had a great pre-season, and you know, hopefully he does come up.
Just on the bump though, does the coaching staff address it with the players? Chat about it?
No, look, as I said, it's really the last few years we have been made clear as players what we must do and what we mustn't do. So, you know, when we train and we do all our craft work, it really we understand what we have to avoid. So, technique-wise, it's pretty simple. You know, and not much has really changed from that point of view. We understand it, and it's just about executing it right.
But the debuts of Velvet Fogarty and Tommy Duday were pretty special.
Yeah, look, it's fantastic, and for us to have 3 debutants in round 1 is great for our footy club. You know, Darcy obviously competed really well and was great, and obviously Tom down there as well was you know, he's done a power of work, and it's just great to see the growth in him as a player. And obviously Lockie Murphy from where he'd come from on our development list last year to playing round 1, it's a great achievement for him.
All good, guys? Yeah, I'll just go one. Yeah, cool. One more on Ritchie. Have you spoken to him? Because we know he's a fair player and a hard player, and he wouldn't have intended to hurt Zach Merritt. Is he flat about how this has gone so far?
I haven't actually spoken to Ritchie about it. Yeah, obviously, you know, it'd be ideal if he wasn't in this scenario, but we still, as a club, believe that he played within the rules, and you know, obviously, I can't talk about too much about what's going to happen tomorrow, but that will play out the way it will, and it won't change the way Richard does anything. That's for sure.
So you guys didn't, like, you know, when the news was handed out, or even during the game, Dougie wouldn't have said, "Gee, I wonder if I'm in strife." Like, no one talks about it.
Not really. We've got a lot on our plate throughout the game, so I mean, most of us wouldn't even realise that it had happened. So that's generally what happens.
And afterwards, no.
A few guys talking about it, but I mean, that's just the nature of it. You know, obviously, we can't do too much about it. The club's obviously going to put a process to you know, to come out with the right result, but. Yeah, we'll just have to see what happens.
What about you? Have you had any sleep lately? You've got a new addition, haven't you?
I have had a bit of sleep, which is good actually, a bit of a surprise. Yeah, I had a baby girl a week and a half ago, so exciting times, but very busy.